In this video, we're going to look at how to remove confusing legacy web properties in Google Search Console. It might be messing up your SEO. Hey there, Joomla fans. Tim Davis here. I'm a Joomla fan too. Thanks for tuning in to Maintenance Monday number 116 here on the Basic Joomla Tutorials YouTube channel. Yes, thank you for tuning in. Thanks for your support of this channel. Lots happening, so we'll talk about that after we take care of the meat of today's topic and as we hang around and chat afterwards. So here's the deal. I saw someone in the Joomla Facebook group that was having problems with their canonical URLs. Basically, Google was seeing the HTTP version, or was seeing the www version and the non-www version, and these things were showing up in their Google console, and they were really confused about what was happening. And so I kind of looked into that with them and discovered that some things have changed with Google. So let's turn our attention over to the screen and we will check that out. If you're watching live, say hi in chat, like Eric, Vinny, Ivor did. And don't forget to head on over to basicjoomla.com/giveaways. Sign up for the newsletter. You'll be entered in the monthly giveaway automatically. Just sign up once and win once a year. If you win, of course. All right, so let me just post a link here in chat to, actually to this article right here. I Googled it, and it's a pretty good one that comes up, talking about Google Search Console drops preferred domain setting. So remember how in Google, even before Search Console, what you would do is you would go into your Google, it was Webmaster Central. You would go in and you would want to tell Google where your site was, prove that you owned it, and then submit a sitemap so that they knew where it was and where your new pages were coming from. And oddly enough, what you had to do, so here I am in Google Search Console. This opening page asked me to add something, but I'm already logged in, so I just click on the left corner up here, drop down to all my sites, and you'll notice here that I have HTTPS basicjoomla.com, HTTP www.basicjoomla.com, and HTTPS www.basicjoomla.com. So what they wanted you to do, what you used to have to do, is go in and claim the version without www and also the version with www. And once you prove that you own both of those, which I always thought was kind of ridiculous, because if you could prove you own one, of course, then you prove the other one. You automatically had the other one. Anyways, once you verified those two, you would then say, I want Google to see only the www version, or you would say the non-www version. So now what has happened, as you'll see in this article, is that Google stopped doing that. See, here's what, remember this is a set a preferred domain. But now Google is using their artificial intelligence to figure out which version you should have. The only problem is that if you still have these legacy settings inside your Search Console with Google, it's possible that you could confuse Google as to what's going on. Now, I do want to say that, and I'm going to show you how to delete these. Before you delete any of these old ones, there is data in them about traffic and searches. So if this is something you've done very recently, say switching over to HTTPS from HTTP, or you've set up a property or added something there for whatever reason, and there's data that you want to make note of that, or do what you need to do with that data before you delete this, because it will be gone forever. All right, you also see I added, this is probably from a tutorial adding rockettheme.basicjoomla.com. So okay, I no longer need for sure this HTTP version here. So I'm going to click on that, and you will see that there is no performance. There's been no traffic there. However, if I look at the site maps, I didn't have anything submitted there. So I'm safe to delete this. I don't need it. I'm going to go up here, click the drop down, and no, I'm going to click down here in the left corner, the gear settings, and I'm going to remove the property. Are you sure you want to remove that URL property from your account? In order to add the property back, you'll need to add the property using the property list menu. Yes, let's remove it. And now it is gone. Now, I'm also going to remove this one that is probably from an old template, this rockettheme.basicjoomla.com, because you see every now and then there is some traffic to it, and it might actually be, is there a sitemap? No, somehow it's getting traffic. I just don't want Google to pay any attention to that. It's just a burner site for tutorials. So again, I'm going to click on settings and remove property. Remove property. Now, let's get into these bigger ones. Here we have HTTPS, the non-www and the www version. Now let's click on the non-www version. There's nothing here. Do I have some sitemaps registered? No, so this is safe. Now, of course, I wasn't having problems with this. Someone else was having problems with it, but I realized it could cause problems, and it's good just to tidy this stuff up anyways. So I like the www. By the way, there's no SEO difference between www or the non-www choice, whichever you like. It's just your preference. I'm old school. I like www. So anyways, I'm going to go to settings, and I'm going to remove that property. I'm just going to double check and read here. Yes, it's the non-www. I'm going to remove it, and now I've removed the possibility of any confusion, and also look what I've done. I have nicely tidied up the left-hand column in here because it just lives there by itself now. Just that one, easy to select. So as long as you don't mind getting rid of possibly the data that is there, and be sure to check it out, I would go ahead and I would delete those legacy settings in your properties in Google Search Console. That way Google knows that you're a www site. Don't forget, and there's other tutorials on the channel about that. You want your site to be using an SSL certificate, and you also want canonical URL set up in your site so that if the same page exists under some different URLs, it says to Google, this is the main one. And you also want to set your site to serve up www always or not. And you can do that through htaccess. I've got a bunch of tutorials on that. If you're wondering how to do that, stick around in the chat after and I'll show you. But and we'll talk about some other things now too. But if that's what you came here for, thank you for watching. Thanks for your support of this channel. Don't forget to come back in 2 days to watch me work live stream. This is going to be a really great one. Mark DeChevret is going to be building a site live on the site using Joomla custom fields. He's got 20 concrete little steps to do that. It's going to be a great learning opportunity. There's tons of people, tons for this channel, watching last Wednesday, and this is going to be even better. So come on back for that on Wednesday. So if you're not sticking around for chat, thanks for your support of this channel. Enjoy your Joomla site, and God bless. And for those of you that are staying, thank you for staying. You know, last week last week it wasn't out yet. Head on over to Joomcast.com. Not Joomcast.com. Actually, funny story about Joomcast.com. I will tell it to you right now as I bring up the URL. And as I change to the screen here. I was approached by someone about doing some videos, and I invited them to come on Joomcast, and I'm hoping they'll be able to do next week's Wash and Work live stream. They have the page builder Quicks, and I'm just trying to remember his name. It's escaping me. I wasn't planning on saying his name, so that's why I didn't refresh. And of course, it's morning here. Anyways, turns out they own the domain Joomcast.com. They had thought about starting the podcast, but never got it going. So, anyways, head on over to Joomcast, number 11 with Annabelle Sanchez, and you can listen to another good interview there. There's plenty of good interviews. I think we're approaching our first 1,000 listens, which is pretty good. So head on over to that. And give a listen if you have not. What else was I going to say? I mentioned Watch and Work live stream is going to happen. Excuse me while I just have a little bit of breakfast here. It was funny last week because I saw that so many people waiting in chat when I was a couple minutes late, and Vinny suggested that I was getting my cheese. So today I switched it up and got a bagel. Although it is a chewy thing, so it'll be hard to. It's going to be hard to eat if I'm the only one talking. What else is happening? Hey, some of the Joomla Shack conference videos are dropping now. Let's check that out. See if we have, it's probably on Joomla Shack's YouTube channel. And it's been getting shared in the Facebook group as well. But let's see, YouTube, Joomla Shack. Let's find their channel. There we go. And let's see. Oh, there you go. Lots of, oh yeah, they're all up. It looks like they're all up, or many of them are up. So, some great things to listen to. Eric says he just finished lunch. I must have gotten up late. Yes, I was up late working, Eric, and went to bed at, I don't know what time I went to bed at. Maybe it was 2:30 or something like that. I could check the my Fitbit. But anyways, set the alarm to wake me up at 10, which is an hour before showtime. So that's, yeah, so that's pretty par for the course for me. And I'll tell you, you want to know what the mornings look like for me? I don't know if I can show this to you, if I can find it. Let me just look on another screen while I look at this. Anyway, so lots of videos there. Already 1,500 views on the one on 4. That's really cool. So let me see here. What was I looking for? Oh yes, Fitbit. My wife and I got Fitbits back in August. I've mentioned it before on the stream. It was fun, just a fun way of saying that we wanted to continue being around together. So we got Fitbits. And so I've been learning a little bit about my fitness. And let me just find out. I'm trying to find my heart here. Does it show me here? No, basically what I wanted to show you was something I noticed yesterday. So the chart of my heart rate is, while I'm sleeping, it's there, it slowly goes down, and then when I wake up, it spikes to 130. Not when I wake up, but when I get up, start moving around. So that is terrible. That is a terrible time of day for me. So yes, I not physically a morning person. Vinny said 10 a.m. So when he gets up most mornings. He enjoyed the one in Joomla 4. It got him really excited. Yes. And it's in my chest under my rib cage. 130. Yeah. Maybe I thought I could maybe find. Let's see here. No, that's. Let me just take a look on the this other screen I've got here. If it's just showing me a summary of everything on the web. Let's see here. No, all right. So I'll bring it up here on my phone. Maybe you guys can see it that way. By the way, if you have Joomla stuff to talk about or anything else, put it in chat. This is not just, don't want to just talk about me here. Although I have to do a lot of that because I can't hear anyone else's voice. All right, so let's see. Right now, my pulse is 100. Now, apparently I have a very high metabolism because yesterday I spent, Sunday I spent 11 hours and 40 minutes in the fat burning zone. That includes sometimes watching Netflix. So I will, okay, let me just see if I can get this up on the screen here. Show you what I'm showing. All right, so for that, I'm going to have to switch to, I've changed my remote here. So we're going to go full screen camera. All right, so here is my heart rate yesterday. So basically, over here, oh, I'm going to do this like a weatherman. Okay, over here, see, is nice and low. I think that's like 83. Like, yeah, that's so when I'm sleeping, I'm sometimes in the fat burning zone. And then it goes down, and then you see that big, huge spike. That's when I get up. It's not a pleasant experience. Um, I'm not in pain or anything like that, but yes, sirree, it certainly does jump up there. So, yes, and just so that you know, this chart here, if I turn it sideways, um, this is my resting heart rate, and this jump here, that point is 80. So, interestingly enough, down over here is my wife was away. Or oh man, this is really hard, awkward. My wife was away, and then she came home, and my heart rate went down. And this peak here, is, I'm sure, is stress from work. So I've been stressing about some work stuff. Anyway, so, but Fitbit says I do have a healthy heart. So for a man my age, Fitbit's not too worried about it. So I'm not going to worry too much about it. Let me get back to chat here. The cats won't let you sleep longer than 5 a.m., Eric. You wanted to ask about a custom form component if you've got the time. Yes, that's far better to talk about that, Eric, than to talk about my heart. You have to solicit nominations for about... Hey, Phil. Phil, did you get my email from last night? Just checking. You have to solicit nominations for about 14 different awards, so you need to build 14 individual forms so people can submit names and information, including uploading files for you to consider. What custom form component do you like the best? I have used for a long time RS Forms. RS Forms Pro, so that is one that I use. I've just used it for, I think it's one of the first extensions that I paid for a Pro version for. Also, someone's going to say in here that they use Kronos Forms. I think it's Kronos Forms. And that one is an excellent well as also. Phil has killed off Filiform. Filiform, it sounds like a scientific substance or something. Yes, we knew that something suspicious has happened when we saw the Filiform everywhere. So I'll just show you what I got happening on, let's see. And Chuck, hi Chuck, I did get your email about asking about custom fields, so let's talk about that in a second. Might he use a multi-page form for that? Okay, what Mary says, breathing forms. So a multi-page form, yes. I was also thinking, now 14 is a lot. Eric, how much, do you just need the people's names? Or are people going to be submitting their, are people going to be submitting addresses and information about those people that they're nominating, or just collecting them? And Chuck uses JSN Uniform for me. So aren't you glad that you asked, Eric? Now you have 4 great choices to check out. Okay, and Vinny has said he uses RS Forms, but lately been using Tassos and Marinos Convert Forms. 5. Okay, so Eric, names, email, historical information about the person's service to your group. Yeah. Because you could do one big massive form. But the problem with 14 is, and this always scares me about large forms, is that if you get halfway through filling out a form with 7, say you're halfway, you've nominated 7 people in 7 of the categories, and then that person's browser times out, or they go away, they come back, and they lose everything, then that's a pain. So Yeah, uploading the documents like PDF or Word docs is not bad. Now the great thing too is with these I would imagine most of the form systems, once you get your one form created, you could actually just make copies of it and then tweak it. So you're not going to have to do it over and over and over again. And also people submitting forms are IT challenged older people. How old are older people? Because you know what? I am less than a year from being able to get the senior citizens discount at the local local drugstore. Yes, I beat you to that one, Vinny. Yeah, so go with the individual forms. Okay. They're mostly 23 years older than you. Well, just for the sake of, I'll just show you how it does, how RS Forms does it. And I notice that we're not looking at my screen right now. Phil's 20. Phil, I was looking at the new Ford electric vehicle last night. That Ford has actually put a Mustang emblem on an SUV that's electric coming out in 2021. I was excited when I thought they're coming out with an electric Mustang, but it's actually not the sports car Mustang. So, all right, let me just look in my site here and see what I do for the form. For putting that in okay, let's see. I have RS Forms in here. I know I'm not showing my screen right now. I just want to make sure I don't actually give away anything that's in the submissions. No, I haven't here. Okay, so great. So I think you should definitely check out what the others are using. Especially if you guys are using one that is free. You want to say which one is free for using the form. I just remember a long time ago, forms were so complicated back then. I needed something that was just easy that without me having to program and put in all the things and stuff. So that's why I bought this. Now, why did I pick up my phone? Oh, I picked up my phone to change the remote, but it's not because I was showing you guys my heart rate. So here, let me just focus on one thing here. There we go. Remote control. It's on. Computer screen on the right. All right. So I'm in the back end of my site here, and I've got this form. And here's an example. I wonder what they've got happening in here. So here's an example. They have some header text, a full name, to submit full name, email, company size, position, blah, 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 blah. If you want to add a field on the side here it is right here, file upload. So I'm going to left click on that, and I can give it a name. The other thing too, Eric, is, and Ivor is using RS Forms. The other thing too, Eric, is this. Make a video of how to upload a file, and then just do screen capture. And then in that field, say upload a file, a PDF or a doc, and say if to watch a video on how to do this, click here. That's a lot of words, but you're also doing it for people that aren't tech savvy. So if you just have it as a link, they might not know to. Have it open in a pop-up or in another tab and just say, thanks for wanting to submit a form. Here's how you can do it. Click on this button in the form. Go on your computer to where your file is, click here, and set it. Yeah, video's great for that. Caption. I always name the same name. Upload. And then description. Load a file. Published, yes. Validations required. So that's must they? And then validation message, invalid input or whatever. Attributes. Configure the maximum allowable size. So in kilobytes. So let's give them a meg. maybe need more, you decide. The folder that those will be uploaded to, can they upload multiple files? So you have all your normal options here. Sanitize file name, all kinds of stuff, and attach the file to the user's email or to the admin email. So you'll get notified of when a submission's happened. So you want the file attached to that. And if you have it set up for them to get notifications that they've submitted of their submission, you can always send the file back to them. But all right, so let's go save. And let's go bomb that in there now. Let's see, that should have gone down to the bottom. Now remember, you definitely want to set up reCAPTCHA from Google. Either the I'm Not a Robot, click a box, or invisible reCAPTCHA is probably better for them, one less thing. And so, of course, your new one gets added to the bottom here. You don't want it below a footer, so we'll just put it up here by the submit button. And now we will save. And let's see here. Which form is it? This is the sample form, so it's going to be save. It's going to be number 1. Okay, number 1. So now I have to go, and these forms are inserted into articles using a tag. And so I'm going to go into the plugins list, RS form, and content, RS form, great. And what is the tag? I'll go in here and look. Oh, here it is. Okay, RS form 1. Here, we'll just do this. There's the other stuff that you can do. Close. All right. So next, I'm going to go to one of my pages. Let's just go to the home page. Featured article. Hey there, Joomla fans. And we'll bomb this in down at the end. Right at the bottom, I'm going to put in that tag. And we'll center it, save it, preview it. Oops, there we go. Preview it. And down at the bottom, way down, you get this really great field here. Upload a file, choose file. And then, of course, you click that. Oh, yeah, and you just wait for a little while for the computer to wake up, and then they can select their file. Now, you want to see something really cool that you guys can do in some extensions like this. So, for instance, you've got upload a file. Please upload a file. Let's go back here, and I'll show you. So here's our form here. Other thing too is really cool thing about RS forms, and probably some others, is that they keep track of submissions. So when someone submits something, suppose someone submits something and they've, who knows, for some reason the email doesn't get through to you, and they say, or it bounces, and they say, whatever. You can always go and check the log of stuff that was submitted here in the back end of your site and still read submissions. So I like that as well. But let's go back to the form here. And so we'll go, here's upload a file. So I'm going to go to edit. Now notice here in the description, I have typed just please upload file. Yeah, the log file is really nice. You have to, if you're having attachments, of course you have to watch. You have to watch for the size that's building up, I suppose. But all right, so please upload a file. Let me just do this. I'm going to let's put heading 1. Let's put this in a heading 1. All right, and close that. Heading 2. I don't know if HTML works in here. Oh, heading 1, sorry. Close heading 1. What does RS Forms Pro do that the free version doesn't? Good question. I'm going to just save this heading and try this. Save. I think a while ago, they actually stopped. They may only have the Pro version now. I'm not sure, but let's check this. So please upload a file. Oh, it does work. HTML does work in there. Excellent. You know, but so basically, what you can do, in this case, Eric, is in your description for the upload a file, that's where you could put some HTML with a link to where the video is for them to watch. It used to be, and listen, just if you ever have an extension that you can put text in, but you're not allowed to put, it won't take HTML, use ReReplacer from Regular Labs and put just a little code for the ReReplacer in there, and then of course in ReReplacer in your setup in Regular Labs ReReplacer, you put in all your HTML, all the code that you want, and it'll just get put in there. But that's cool that description works for HTML. Yeah, the HTML works in that description field. All right, so first of all, let's get this form off of my site. And let's go save and close. RS Form Pro versus free. All right, let's see extensions. RS Form Pro. I have a sneaky feeling in my head that years ago. Oh, a support ticket field now. Oh, cool. That probably works with their RS Tickets Pro, which I think might be the one that I use. So that's cool to see. I have a funny feeling way in the back of my head, which is not uncommon at this time of the day, that they let's see here. Free. Oh, here we go. Let's see. RS Form to free Joomla form. Yeah, see, works with Joomla 1.5. Want Joomla 3 compatibility, RS Form Pro. So this is coming back to me. There was a point in time where they stopped having the free version. Because I do not have, and back then I actually had, because I had the RS Form Pro version, they basically said that that membership was going to be good forever, which is the other reason why I keep using it. I never have to renew it. So I've sort of got grandfathered in on that. So I do not think there is a free version for Joomla 3. So want Joomla 3 compatibility, RS Form Pro. So it's interesting that they still have the 1.5 version available, but that possibly is because, yeah, well, yeah, but that's just vaguely remember. So I have a forever membership on RS Form. It's kind of coming back to me. I want to take a look at that support ticket field. Click over, published attributes. Choose what ticket type you would like. Random. Oh, that's for ticket type. Length, input length of code. Specific additional HTML attributes for this support ticket. Let's read about that. Let's go RS Form support ticket field. Oh, okay. RS Forms Pro support field is basically a hidden field that holds a random generated sequence with two configurable tabs. Name, the name of the form component. Okay, attributes. Generates a random string based on your character selection. The name of the field is used. Okay. Name. This needs to be unique for each form. It can contain only alphanumeric characters. The name of the field is only used for internal reference. It will not be displayed in the front end area. So it's a support field. So I wonder how that gets used. You use this form to submit a request. There's a hidden field in it, which only you see as the admin. So then what happens? You see that request, and then do you create a ticket in RS Forms with that? Or do you reply, and are they tracked somehow? Interesting. All right. So it's not, it doesn't connect to RS Forms Pro. It's just something internal for people to refer to. All right. I have to ruminate on that. Now, Chuck emailed me. Let me bring that up on another screen here. Excuse my chewing while I put a bit more inside of me. Okay, and Chuck asked this question about custom fields. And here it is. With all of the rearranging of content items, turning them into fields, how do you keep both structured data and open graph tags attached to those items? For example, if using HODA-Meta, would those open graph tags still work within the fields to the content items? And would structured data coming from Tassel's structured data extension be affected? And then he said, would this be a Vinny question? Might you have any insight or thoughts prior to Monday? Yes. Prior to Monday, yeah. Well, it's Monday, but it's still 2 days till we do that. So here's what I was thinking about that, Chuck. I think that what we're looking at with the custom fields, first of all, HODA-Meta, John Mulholt's extension for putting in open graph tags and that won't be affected at all because it's already custom fields. So with these, what we're looking at, if you add fields to an article or to an area, the existing fields aren't going to be effective. So that's cool because custom fields just lets you keep adding fields as you need them. And so HODA-Meta fields are attached to the data you put in is attached to the article that you're putting it in for. It has nothing to do with actually the content inside the page. Now, if I remember right, Tassos Merino's open graph or metadata, and if you're using that, adds a tab inside of the article, when you're creating it. And so that information is also attached to the article. And so, and you guys can all correct me on this if I'm wrong. So that when the article is generated and brought up, someone's viewing on your page, the content is actually, the Tassos Merino's content is actually not in the body of the article, it's in the structure of the page because it's being pulled from the information. By installing that extension, the tag or the place where it has been added into Joomla. And so in that case, those two things are not going to go missing. Now, what we're going to see on Wednesday when Mark DeChevre builds this site online and also does an override. It's the override that would affect what shows up on a page. So if you created an override that, and of course, I'm still learning this stuff, but if you created a template override or layout override that did not embed certain fields or have something to show a certain field or something that was there, that would change. But that's just in the content. I think the actual structure of what's being served up as a page, because of the fields like that have been added, are just going to be there. Hodameta being the plugin, the extension added, it doesn't show up in the content section of the page. It shows up in the header part of the page, and the same thing with Tasso. So I think that the only thing that we need to be careful of switching from just a basic template layout to a layout override is that if you're not adding in everything that was in the other template. I think I have that right now. I've been talking lots, so I need to check that out in chat. But does that help, Chuck? Yeah, so Vinny says he never puts fields in the article full text field. He uses easy layouts and a template override to include the fields. Yeah, so what he's doing is using I think that's a cool way to do it because you get your own layout. That's something I need to, that's the next thing once I get a little more comfortable with custom fields, is that you're actually doing a layout and saying, put this field here, put this field here, put this field here. But you can basically in Joomla have a standard article layout and display a field right in the article. It's not laid out, maybe as pretty or as specifically as you want, but that's the fundamental way that they work. And I think it's really good to do some stuff in the fundamental ways so that you know what can happen, and then you can start playing around. Chuck said, yeah, with all the fields that he was using, it's a bit overwhelming. That thought had crossed your mind. Vinny, I did not see that Hodameta had a big update. We should check that out. But yeah, so Chuck, it's just the layout that is possibly the issue. Oh, dynamic content? Oh my goodness. Let's go find Hodameta and have a look and change the screen. Hodameta, there you go. All right. Let's see. Version 3. Wow. You can reference fields from your article in the meta output. Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow. That's crazy. Way to go, John. From version 3, you can... Okay, so the syntax is @ square bracket, article field name, square bracket, @ Okay. The reference starts with @ and in all capital letters. Hey, Rick. Good to see you. So an example for an article called My Views, written by John Doe. Yes, Vinny and I are going to try, maybe to try to connect after the stream today. We had some plans just to, he's got a couple things to show me, so. And once, I think after we get this, once we get this custom fields thing sorted out with Mark DeChevre, and I get a little bit more up to speed on that, and do a little work, a little practice myself, then I think we're going to be able to do a lot more custom field things together here on the live streams. So, let's see here in Hodameta. So Rick, we're just looking at if you're just tuning in, we're just looking at John Mulholt's Hodameta, which lets you put open graph things in the core using custom fields. And he now has dynamic fields. He now has dynamic fields, which means that, well, it says here, you can take reference fields from your article in the meta output. And so you've got the article field, ID, title, alias, author, intro text, created by alias, created, modified, meta key, which is really cool because you can then set up I'm guessing things for like Google syntax, Google search, Google markup, whatever the term is that they use. But that is great, because then you could then, instead of having a separate custom field with the description, you can actually use the meta description from your article. Oh my goodness, that is really great. That is really, really, really great. Cool. John, are you watching? If so, good job. That is killer. Well worthy of jumping up to version 3. Woohoo. Nice. Yeah, because you think you still have to create the field? Okay. Is not this this is the article field itself though, right? Not the custom field. Reference fields from your article in the meta output. It's possible to use these fields to automatically create a dynamic output. Oh, you're saying you still have to create the field, but you won't have to enter the information. Okay. Maybe we'll have to get John on here for an update just to show that. Unless he hasn't said anything, so I think maybe he's not watching. So we could ask him about that. But yeah, that is really cool. I guess that makes sense, Vinny. That makes sense, not you, because otherwise, how on earth do you get that stuff to show up in the header? So you have HOTA meta, you create the field, but then you start to use these tags in the field. Okay, that makes perfect sense. Your son Tej, sorry if I mispronounced that. Type that out phonetically so I can say it properly. Is also watching to learn some English and Joomla. Excellent. Because Rick, you can't live forever. Someone's got to take your company over, so might as well be him. Right? Definitely. Okay, yeah, so Vinny, that makes sense. Install HOTA meta, create the field that will go up into right. Okay. That will go up into the header of your page, and so it will be aug description, and then you would have at all in all caps meta desk DESC at and then you add that tag in there. So that's how it will work. Okay, you're right. But exactly what you said there, Vinny, you don't have to enter the information anymore because you just have it in that description box, the standard one, in the article area. That is cool. That's huge. That is really huge. All right. Rick, does your son do any Joomla stuff? Phonetic for... Oh, Tice. Nice. Tice. Okay. Tice, does Tice do any web pages? Has he done any web pages, or is he doing any web things? Or is he more of a YouTuber? And also, how old is Tice? Because perhaps that's not... maybe he's not up to that yet. So, anyways, Tice, thanks for watching today. All right. Very, very cool. Okay. Oh, if I was a morning person, I'd eat breakfast before I come on do these live streams. Oh, nice. So you're creating his own blog for school, and he's 9. Excellent. So if Tice needs hits for his project, make sure you hit us up. We'll get hits for him. And he's creating his own blog for school. Now, is he allowed to use Joomla, or do they have him doing some custom HTML? Or what do we so is it wide open, or is it just doing some basic coding or whatever for a project? Because what a great way to instill the love of Joomla in the younger generation. Of course, potentially he could get bullied by all the WordPress users in his class as well. So, no, the kids don't get bullied in school anymore, do they? All right. Well, what else will we talk about or look at or check out here? I can't think of anything. Nothing jumping to mind here. Anyone else have any questions or projects you want to share or show, or let us pop over to Joomla Extensions Facebook group. All right, let's see here. That's probably not needed. Oh my goodness. That's the one on Video Quiz. We saw that. Oh, an advent calendar. Create your own advent calendar. Let's check that out. But first, a couple of questions here in chat. So, Eric says, how about a question on sending mail using Gmail from Joomla? Yes. Do it if you want. Okay, so Tice is it's a private project to add his presentations for school. He's learning the basics, so no live site at the moment. Good. Eric, here's how I would do that. If you're using a Gmail account for sending your mail out from Joomla, you just have to put in the SMTP information. Let me just change screens here for a quick sec here and go to my site back here and go System and Global Configuration. And so I don't think there should be any problem. Let me just take something out there. Okay. So in System Global Configuration, you would go just to the Server tab and Mail Settings and put in the SMTP information for your Gmail account. So I took up my user. Now this is my SMTP information for sending through my mail.basicjoomla.com. But basically, yes, you could send out from a Gmail address. Now, do you want to do that? I think you probably, on one hand, Gmail is so deliverable. And especially, so I think branding is, I like to send things out through the mail server of the domain just because it's consistent branding. So if someone submits a form from basicjoomla.com and then they get an email coming from a Gmail account, then it's like, it's, they get it, but I just think it's better coming from basicjoomla.com. It just creates more of that branding sort of impression to things. But I think that okay, so I'm just reading your chat here. You have a couple of Joomla installs that use Tice. Oh, is that greetings back? Yeah. Tice, welcome the left-hand coast of Canada. I'll show you where I am in just a second. A couple have quit working, and the other still does, but I'm not sure why. Was wondering if you had run upon a common reason. Why would? Yeah, I'm not sure why. It should just work. Are they sending all? Are they submitting all from the same IP? I wonder if that's the case. And what are they sending? Are you using them to send? Is it mostly admin messages from the system that are coming to you, or is it the address that forms are coming from? All right, Rick, you're going to bed. Good night, Rick. Good night. Good night, Tice. Show them where Victoria is on Vancouver Island, the most beautiful place in the world, above sea level. They're different servers, sending form submissions and admin messages. Okay, not high traffic. I guess if they're sending through, how would you find out about bounce messages? I would, on the ones that aren't working, submit a few forms using your using a different Gmail address and see if you get bounce messages. Oh, we've got the error message there. Great. And I have not forgotten the other comment that's further up here that Ivor mentioned. That was Ivor. There's two that popped in here. Oh, Ivor mentioned you also like conditional fields in RS Joomla. Are those conditional fields? I'd have to check that out. I've never done anything with those. SMTP connect failed. Check your password. Yeah, check your password and ports. And your security. If this, then this. Conditional fields. Oh, okay, yes. All right. But where do you put them in the form? That's what that I'm wondering about. Oh, you mean, oh, so is there somewhere? Okay, well, let's just finish this up with a Gmail. Are these different Gmail addresses as well that you're sending from? Because if they're different Gmail addresses, another sneaky thing that happens with Gmail is you have to allow Gmail to be sent by, in Gmail you turn on allow insecure apps. For instance, Outlook for Office 365, you cannot send out through Gmail unless you go into Gmail and give it permission and turn on use insecure apps. It's crazy. Okay, the insecure setting is turned on. You thought as the host might be blocking that port. Oh, okay, yes, the outgoing host. That's such a common. Yeah. That's such a common port for sending. Are they maybe not allowing sending to Gmail through a form like that? You actually can only do it through. No, but Exum is the mail sending thing on a server. But I think, see, even in Joomla, you're putting in that information you are accessing Exum. So yeah, port blocking it might be too. And you change the password and update it, but no love. Yeah. Huh. Now, just a sec, I asked. Is this for all the same Gmail account? So you have 3 sites, but they're trying to access through the same Gmail account, and therefore, and so they're not able to but a couple aren't able to access the same Gmail? Okay, 3 different Gmail accounts. So the great way to rule out the server is on the on one of the accounts where the Gmail is not working, switch it to a Gmail account that is working on your other site. Do a quick test, and then if that works, then you know it's the Gmail address that's not right that you switched from. If that doesn't work, then you know you're fighting something against the site. And Ivor has posted Joomla Beginner. Yeah, so that would be a good way to rule that one out, Eric. And so let's just double check here. Joomla Beginner, Ivor sent this link here. How to send email in Joomla using Gmail SMT server. How to send. Yeah, this is going to take us through the steps. Put in your information from... Oh, that's if you're using Gmail with two-step verification, you need to add a new password in settings. That's another good point. If you're using, are those two-step verification Gmail accounts? Okay, they're not. All right. Well, that would have been cool, but that's another thing to keep track of. If you're using Gmail today. So yeah, so basically there's the steps here. Hey, I did run into this once really funny thing too. Somebody, and it was a Gmail user. He changed his password and he had a / in it, or a backslash. And when he said he had changed his password, and I tried to I said, well, let me try to log in for you. What's your password? And he gave it to me. And when I saw the /, I thought, I'd be surprised if that works. And then I thought, so basically, once I changed his password and got rid of the /, he was able to access it. So I wonder if there's, if there's something in the password that's throwing something off. I mean, that's when you end up looking for the weird stuff, right? I mean, I've had things where it was just like a combination of characters or something that just for whatever reason was breaking something, and I had been lucky enough to find it, so I switched it up. And you do use plus and minus signs. See, which I think is probably fine, but you never know. So maybe you could try that. That might be something else to try. All right. Let's go here. RS forms, conditional fields. Yeah, and make sure you let us know what's up with that, Eric, to see if that helps it. All right, what are conditional fields? If this, then that. Vinny already told us. Conditional fields allow you to show or hide a field based on the user's selections. Oh, yes, okay. With this article, we'll guide you in using these type of conditions. For better understanding, we'll start by modifying the pro example. All right, so cool. All right. So yes, RS Forms also has it so that so you could simplify a form. So in Eric's case, if someone is saying, if not everybody has to submit a field, you could actually just have a field saying, do you want to send us a submit file, a PDF file with your nomination? And if the person, you can just leave that check no, and there's no field there. But if they check yes, then it opens up the field, and then they can then do that. So it could be a great way to simplify a field. For instance, you could say, do you have more comments to share with us? Yes, it opens up a box where you can put a text field in, so you can actually have things nice and tight. Very cool. Yes, I like that too. Thanks for mentioning that, Ivor. Cool. Very nice. Alrighty. So everybody, if there's nothing else, I think that's all I've got for today. Let's just check back here and see what's happening on here. Oops, daisy. And get back to the chat window here. Cool, all right. Eric's downloading RS Forms Pro now, and let us know where to see him when we're done. Yeah, so everybody, I think that will probably be a wrap for today. Looking forward to Wednesday when we get into that second part 2 of Custom Fields with Mark DeChevre. That is going to be enjoyable. I'm looking forward to that. I get something off the phone here. And yeah, we'll keep growing all this stuff together. Yes, Chuck, you will know, because I think you get notified when we're doing this. Yes, and Vinny and I are going to connect right after this, which actually will work out well. And yeah, we'll have a lot more custom field stuff on here, and we'll do a lot more of this of the layout overrides too once we get all that humming together. Don't forget, let me just show you here, one of the first ones that I want to listen to on Joomla Shack is the one that Carlos Camera did. Let's bring that back up here. Lots of good things to listen to if you missed some of those sessions. But the one that be first one's probably recent activities. Maybe Joomla Shack. Yeah, I'll have to. Okay, maybe okay, I'm gonna have to double check this. Maybe these are not all from the Joomla Shack conference. Optimizing the Joomla backend with Peter Martin. That was one. Joomla 4. How to create customized slideshow navigation and Shack slides. That's not from there. How to send. All right. So, anyways, we'll find those all. Oh, there's only one from the conference so far. Okay. Oh, okay. Thanks, Chuck. I thought maybe I know that he was having a struggle editing some of the video. So, okay. In fact, I hadn't seen that one either, so we will check that out. All right, everybody. I'm going to. Yes. Okay. Yeah. The only thing about the Zoom using Zoom is my wife needs to use my Zoom account for a meeting that she has lined up at 1 o'clock. So we have 50 minutes. So what I'll do is, tell you what, let me just set up that Zoom call right now. And then I will go into there. I'm going to create that there. Yes, Vinny and I were he was going to show me a couple of custom field things, which I was going to use to get myself even more acquainted before on Wednesday's field. All right, so this is the Zoom there. So Vinny and I are going to hop on this just after. He's going to show me some things he's been wanting to show me. And then we can, so that's, I'm going to be able to do that for 50 minutes. After that, we'll have to switch to Facebook. So my wife can use the Zoom. So in the meantime, chat on the right. Thank you everybody for tuning in today and for your support of this channel. Yeah, it's really exciting to be learning all these things with you guys and gals and from you guys and gals. And we'll just keep doing this all together because that's what Joomla means, all together. So until the next time, hopefully you watch me work live stream. Lord willing, we'll see you on Wednesday. Until then, enjoy your Joomla site.